Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to make a corner to corner. This is just a granny square corner to corner. You can use this pattern for blankets, whatever. It looks a little weird because of the yarn I used, but this is actually the center, and we crochet corner to corner. So start here and here. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to start with a slip knot, and then you're going to crochet a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in the third chain, you're going to make a double crochet. 1, and then you're going to make a double crochet in the next chain, and one last double crochet. This is called a block, and basically we're building blocks. So you're going to chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're going to do the same thing in the third chain from the hook. You're going to do double crochet, double crochet, and double crochet. Now your project looks like this. You have 2 blocks right next to each other. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this first block, and where your chain 3 is here on the end, you're going to turn that so it looks like this, and you're going to slip stitch into that chain 3. So you're going to slip stitch into there. Now your blocks are attached, and you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and 2 double crochets. I'm sorry, 3 double crochets. Three double crochets. Now your 2 blocks. This is your third block. Now you're going to chain 3 or chain 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to double crochet in the third chain. One, double crochet in the next chain, 2, and double crochet in the last chain, 3. This is the starting of your third row. And now here's your project, here's your block, and you're going to take this and you're going to slip stitch into the chain stitch of the previous block. So see, it's growing now. So we're going to slip stitch into there and chain 3, 2, 3, and do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Some patterns will do a half double crochet instead of a double crochet in here. It just depends on what you're doing, what pattern, if you're making a scarf or a blanket. Okay, now we're going to slip stitch into the chain 3 on the next one and do chain 3 and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And this is your, so this is row 1, row 2, row 3. Now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to double crochet in the 3rd chain from the end. 1, 2, 3. And again, now you have your next block for your next row. You're going to find your top of your trip or chain 3, and you're going to slip stitch in there, adding this row on. So we're on row 4 now. So we're going to chain 3, and then 3 double crochets, three, and then slip stitch into the next chain 3, chain 3, and 3 double crochets. I'm using this weird yarn. It's called Color Block. It's Red Heart Super Saver Color Block, and it basically has long parts and short parts and long parts and short parts. That's why it looks so different. I've never seen it before, so I wanted to try it out. I kind of like it. You probably saw it in my last video. I made a bag with it. Oh, I'm sorry. So you're going to slip stitch into the next chain 3. And then you're going to chain 3 again. And you're going to do 3 double crochets. 3. And then you're going to chain 6. And you're going to double crochet in the 3rd chain. Now, I don't know if you've watched my videos before, but the way I do it in my chain is I double crochet in the spine of the chain so that the other side of the chain looks like the regular side. It gets the... I'll show you after this stitch. 3. So when I flip it over, it has a nice edge on it. You can see the edge. So you finish that one, and now we're going to slip stitch into the top of the next chain, starting this row, chain 3, and 3 double crochets. And you're just going to continue to do this same pattern until you get your project as big as you want the corner to be. So after I get done with this row, I'll show you what I'm talking about. 3 double crochets, slip stitch, chain 3, 2, 3, slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochets. And you can make anything. You can make a scarf, you can make anything with this pattern, a shawl, a blanket. It's all there's many patterns out there, but the nice thing about this, once I show you how to decrease your rows, you'll see how you can make things like longer, or it doesn't have to be square. Just because it starts like this doesn't mean what you're making has to be square. That's the nice thing about this. And it's actually a really quick, to me anyways, it's a really quick way to make a blanket. It's just a little more difficult. Like the first time I started, before I made a blanket with it, I made several granny squares just to get used to the pattern and how to decrease and how to increase and how to make something longer. Or like I made a few scarves. Okay, so we're going to continue on like this until you get it as big as you want. We're just going to do a square for this one, but I will show you also in this video how to make something longer instead of just making a square with it. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video and I'll come back, and of course you won't see the pause, and I'll be in the middle of my square so you can see how we make the other half. But I want to show you what this looks like when I get to the end here. So you can see what I'm talking about. One of these days, when I get all these granny squares done, we'll sew them together. I'll show you a video on that. I also am going to probably do a crochet along granny square blanket here one of these days. Okay, so this is basically the corner of your granny square. Now this isn't obviously square, so I'm sorry. So we're going to keep going. I think this one is 9 rows. I'm not sure. I should have done 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. It's 8 rows this way. I'm going to do 10. So if you want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 more rows, and then I'll meet you back and we'll reduce it and do this half. Okay? Okay. We're back. The first thing that we're going to do is I have my rows here, and I counted. I have as many as I want, and this is the corner of my my project. And then in reality, we're going to be doing this corner now. So although we finished this corner, now we're going to do this corner. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to reduce. So you're going to get to the end, you chain 1, then you turn your project over, and now you're going to slip stitch in every stitch across until you get to the chain 3. So 3 slip stitches, then you get your chain 3, and you're going to do the same thing. Slip stitch into the chain 3, and then you do chain 3, and then you do 3 double crochets, 2, 3, and then slip stitch into the next chain 3. So now you can see it looks a little weird because of my yarn colors, but you can see how we're not adding on, and now we're starting our corner. So if you look at it like this, you can see it's starting to go up here. So what we're going to do is do our blocks across this one, this row, and then when we get to the other side, we're going to do the same thing. If you were going to make it longer, you would decrease on one side and increase on the other side. So in essence, you're building it down that way. I'll make another video after this one, and I'll show you what it looks like when you're doing it that way. I'll make a smaller block so it's not such a long video, or a smaller square, so you can see how it works its way across. So once you get the hang of this, it's a really easy pattern. And you can play around with what you want to make, because, I mean, I've seen people make everything from bags to scarves to ponchos to shawls. Anything you want to make, you can make with this. And you can also do pictures. And I don't have it, my printer's not working, but I'll show you how to do that. You can see this one. This is the same pattern, and it's a duck. This is the right side, sorry. So you can see by doing different colors, you can actually make pictures with the corner to corner. So I gotta get my printer working to show you how to do that. It's a little more complicated, but you can basically do it. I've seen some really amazing ones, from people to sunsets to words. I mean, just a lot of things. And there's a program where you take your picture and you put it in the program, and it'll give you the pattern that you work off of. So we'll go through all that on one of these videos. It'll probably be a little while. I got to get some... I have to figure out what's wrong with my printer. I don't know if it's the ink or what. I'm going to have to go print it. You have to print the pattern so that you can X off what you do. Otherwise, it gets really confusing. And you also need stitch markers sometimes when you're... which you can just use a piece of yarn, but I like the little ones that look like safety pins. Those are my favorite ones. Okay, so now we're on the other side. And we're going to do our last stitch. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. We're not doing our last stitch. We get into the chain 3 with a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 1. And if you were going to make this longer, you would just add another stitch on there and reduce on the back side. I'll make a video right after this for that, so you can see it. So you're going to chain stitch along this. Or I mean slip stitch. Getting my... and slip stitch into the chain 3. And then you start your blocks again. This is a really fun pattern to do. I've done a couple of striped blankets, and they look really cool because the stripes are sideways, and it's not typically what you see when you see a crocheted blanket. You usually see, you know, up and down lines or sideways lines, depending on how you make it. And having the ability to do those sideways lines or diagonal lines, it makes the blanket really cool looking. I give most of my projects away to charity cancer centers. I make a lot of hats for cancer centers, and I'll make some hat videos here pretty soon because it's getting to be winter in a lot of places. I also make arm warmers, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm trying to get a different video system set up because I know my videos are a little bit hard to see right now, but I have to record them a certain way, and I just don't have the software to flip them and fix them. So hopefully soon I'm getting a new computer, and then I can make videos more clear. And we'll just forget that I ever did it this way. So now you're continuing down your next row. And we have one more. Three, and then you get to the chain 3 up here, and you slip stitch into there and chain 1, turn your project, and you're going to slip stitch across, slip stitch into your chain 3, and do your next block. Now you can see it's starting to get, you know, the more you go, you're doing the side and the top. So you're basically going to meet right there. And of course, if you're going to do a blanket, you want to put it, you know, measure it corner to corner. If you're doing, you know, like a bed size one, which is pretty big for a crocheted blanket, you can actually just lay it on the bed, and when you see the corner hit the bed, you know, and you'd have to probably make one side longer. It's nice that you can adjust this. You don't have to make it square. Tension's pretty important in this one because you can't really see it in this one because it's variegated, but they're these are in and these are out usually, so it kind of looks like you can kind of see it right here. It kind of looks like a waffle. It's hard to see on the video. I can see it in person, but on the video it's harder to see. Probably can see it on the duck one better. Double crochet 1, 2, 3. Please make sure if you like this video, you share it, like it, subscribe to my channel, comment if you have any questions. Comment. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Like I said, I'm having some computer trouble, so I have to have a little trouble sometimes with the questions because I can only see them on my computer. Okay, so we're back to this side, and now you want to chain 1 and then slip stitch all the way across. And the slip stitch also makes it pulls it up and makes it square, which is nice. You don't have some odd shape on the side. Then you can crochet around it. Like on this one, looks like I did a double crochet around the outside. But see, you can see how it's more like a pattern, like a waffle on this one. Three. One. I really like this yarn. I wasn't sure if I would like it. I was going to use it for a scarf, but I decided I'm going to get some more of it. Maybe I'll make a blanket with it or something. I make a lot of blankets that are just straight half double crochet. It's my favorite stitch to do. It's easy and quick, and I just like how they look, and they're warm. They don't have a lot of holes in them. It would be kind of a cool pattern to do. I usually have about 6 projects going at the same time, so I don't get tired of one. I'm making 3 blankets, or actually 4 blankets, and a flurry of granny squares, which I'll sew together and make into a blanket. Oops, I'm sorry, I did one too many. Talking, not paying attention. Okay, so, oops, I forgot my chain 1. And then slip stitch. See how it kind of pulls that stitch up a little bit, makes it more square. So you want to make sure you slip stitch in every one, because it'll make your edge nicer. 3. And so if you look at now, your corner is starting to close in. And I'll just finish the video. I'll just finish the granny square with you, so you can see what the end looks like. I am building a Patreon where I'll post all my patterns, and it'll be easier. You can follow me on there. I take donations. I'll post my Cash App and stuff in the description. These videos are always free. Don't feel like I'm asking for donations. Any money I get donated, I do use for yarn, so I can make more videos and donate more things to charity. I crochet for fun, not for profit. I will make blankets for people. Generally, I just have them pay for the yarn itself, though, because I crochet for fun. Gives me something to do. Three. Slip stitch. And you can sew these all together and make a blanket, or you could sew them together and make a scarf. I just made a really cool blanket for my mom. I made a video of the flower. It's the giant flower. It turned out really good. I had to take a video of the blanket and put it on here so you guys can see it. It's black, so it has a lot of cat fur on it because I have cats. So it's gonna probably take me as long to get the cat fur off of it as it is to make it, but it's all worth it in the end. So see, now we're getting to where there's just a couple stitches left. And it really doesn't look right until you're done. Because it doesn't look like, you know, this doesn't look like it's going to go right. But it does turn out with the slip stitches. It makes it look square. Three. Slip stitch, and turn your work, and then you're gonna slip stitch into these. Oops, I forgot my chain stitch. 1, 2, 3. And this will be the last stitch. The last block. Oops. 3. And attach it. Chain 1. You're gonna make your corner square, so you're gonna do the same. Slip stitch all the way across to the end. And then we're going to chain 1, cut your yarn, pull that through, and now you have your square. So it's a pretty easy pattern. You might want to block your squares, or I do suggest going around the outside if it's a blanket. Because of the difference, how it looks. You can get away with it. I just like to go around the outside. I guess I've always liked to go around the outside. I have a book of about 1,000 different edges. Maybe I'll do some videos on those. But if you like my video, like I said, please subscribe, like, share, comment. I'll get back to you. All my videos are free. But if you'd like to donate, I do appreciate them more than you'll ever know. And I'll put the links in the description to my donation pages. And you can follow me on Patreon for the written patterns. Thank you so much. Have a great day.